Now that I'm older, I realize that growing up in Trinidad and Tobago, we just naturally ate a lot of veggies. Every day, mom would make a different takari, and this was just one of my favorite combos: pumpkin takari and dosti or 2-in-1 roti. It's just an unspoken rule that these two must go together. They're a match made in heaven. There is so many different types of pumpkin I grew up hearing about and eating, like crappleback, sweet mama, Jamaican, iron cap, and even the local large pumpkin that we all know about. In the US, I like using calabaza, fairy tale, or butternut squash like I'm using today. First, I peel the outer skin using a vegetable peeler. Then I cut the core with the seeds out, and then I cut the pumpkin into smaller manageable pieces that could fit into my food processor. And you can slice this by hand, but I usually buy a lot at a time and I portion it to freeze. So this mandolin sitting in my food processor works good for me. Once all the pumpkin is sliced, I weigh it and place it into freezer bags, so when it's time to cook, it makes my life a little bit easier. I just have to pull it out of the freezer and chunky it. To knead the dosti roti, I'm adding flour, salt, and baking powder. Then mixing that well and kneading it with some lukewarm water to get a nice soft dough. Kinda like when you're making paratha or bus up shot. Louis chunky the pumpkin takari. Add some good quality oil to the pot and add your pouran or aromatics. I'm using my mom's recipe as a guide here, and I'm adding my own touches. I'm adding onion, garlic, pimento peppers, hot peppers, and curry leaves or carapuli leaves. And my mom usually adds the curry leaves at the end instead of chunking it. Let that saute for about 3 to 5 minutes and then add the sliced pumpkin in. I'm making 3 pounds of pumpkin today. Give it a good mix and add a tablespoon of salt, a tablespoon of sugar or more if you like, and 1 teaspoon of roasted ground geera. My mom's recipe does not call for geera, but I just like a very mild hint of it. Growing up, my mom never put geera in pumpkin takari. She just never liked it, so she didn't put it. Sugar is also optional because some pumpkins are sweeter than some, so just use your discretion. I know for a fact that this butternut squash needs a little bit of added sweetness. Now once that's mixed well, turn the heat to medium-low and cover the pot. And you want this to steam down without having to add additional water to cook it. So go in and turn it every 10 minutes or so, and you'll see how it starts breaking down after about 20 minutes. Now let's separate the dough into 6 larger loaves or dough balls and 6 smaller ones. And this will give us 3 dosti roti and 2 triple ones. Making this is a little bit bittersweet for me because my late grandmother said she wanted to share this recipe on my channel and we never got to film it. If you go back to the video I filmed with her making dal, I think in that video she was making dosti roti. Now press or roll out the loaves into 5 or 6 inch discs. Rub it with either ghee, butter or oil or any other fat that you like. Then sprinkle some flour and seal it with another flattened loya. Dosti means friendship in Hindi, so just like friendship brings friends together, this brings roti together. Once you make your dosti discs, let it sit for about 5 minutes. So in that time, I'll go check on the pumpkin takari. By 30 minutes, go in with a spoon, a potato masher, or I'm using my trusty dal gutney here to mash it into a puree. I like a mildly saucy pumpkin Talkari, so this texture and consistency is perfect for me. If it's too dry or too wet by this point, then either add some water to cook it or cook it with the lid off to dry it off a bit. At this point, I like to finish it with a little greenery, some scallion or chive and bandhania. My mom never added green seasoning to this, so this is my touch. She believes that certain dishes should shine on its own without the addition of too many seasonings. I just love to see the green specks in there. Taste for salt and sugar and add accordingly. It actually needed 1 more teaspoon of salt, so I used 4 teaspoons in total for 3 pounds of pumpkin. And it's that simple to make pumpkin Talkari. Now let's roll out and cook our Dosti or 2-in-1 rotis. And these are quite delicate, so flour both sides and roll it as thin as you like. I love mine super thin. Then cook it on an oil tower or griddle, and you can add more oil if it dries out. Only cook this for about 30 seconds on each side and cook it as crispy or as soft as you want. And there you have it, Dosti Roti. This is definitely a match made in heaven. Pumpkin Talkari and Dosti Roti. You can have this with some kachula too, but I don't have any. I hope this video was easy to follow. Diwali's coming up and I know a lot of you are fasting. Leave your recipe requests in the comments below and I will try my best to fulfill them. Thank you so much for being here. Until next time. Bye!